Welcome back to GoldSeek TV. I'm here in Zurich with the President and CEO of Western Exploration, Darcy Marud. Thank you very much for joining me here today.
Always a pleasure, Peter.
Loved talking about high-grade gold deposits. Western Exploration has some very nice deposits up in northern Nevada. Let's talk about the Aura project. You have a very great location near Elko in a prime mining jurisdiction. So what is the size of the current deposit? This is a 1 million+ ounce currently resource, which continues to grow. Let's get a little more details on where that resource is contained and the potential to grow and how this deposit is.
Sure. So you said it right, that it's right north of Elko. It's about an hour's drive, so right off a paved highway. Current resource is about 1.3 million ounces. It's contained in 3 different deposits. So we have the Doby George deposit, which is an oxide deposit, about 1 gram per ton right at surface. It's Carlin type deposit. Then we have the Wood Gulch resource of about 100,000 ounces, and that's what's remaining after Homestake mined that area in the late 80s, early 90s. And then last but not least, the Gravel Creek deposit, which is our newest discovery, higher grade. It's about 5.5 gram per ton and about 700,000 ounces there.
Fantastic. So what is kind of the positioning of these different deposits? How far apart are they?
From Gravel Creek to the east to Doby George in the west is about 8 kilometers as the crow flies. So by road, it would be maybe a little bit more than that. But they're all within a contiguous claim block. So there's no gaps in between the claims. They're all on our claims and 100% held by the company.
Fantastic. So when did you acquire the project? How did it start? And
long history there. The company, before it went public in 2022, was private, and it was formed in 1997. They first acquired Doby George. That would have been in early or late 1997. Then afterwards, the Wood Gulch, and then staked the claims around Wood Gulch that led to the Gravel Creek discovery in 2013. So it's been around for quite a while, been put together bits and pieces. And where we are now with the project is about 61 square kilometers, all contiguous. We have power within about 5 kilometers of the project. We have 2 permitted water wells that we use for our exploration water. And again, we're only 3 kilometers off a paved highway. So nice, tight claim package, but very close to infrastructure.
Great location.
Yeah.
So this, as you just said, this isn't something that just came about quickly in the last few years since you went public. This is a long-term process that has been accumulating. Who put this together? And I also noticed there's a very large shareholder in the company. So
that large shareholder was who really put it together. The large shareholder you're referring to is Golkonda. Golkonda came into the company in 2013. They recapitalized the company, and since 2013, have invested about $30 million in exploration at Aura. And that $30 million started with the discovery of Gravel Creek and took it all the way to the first technical report and then the public listing. So they currently own about 44% of the equity of the company. There's about 70 high net worth individuals and family offices within that group, but they're very long-term shareholders, and they've been very supportive of the company since 2013.
So very strong insider ownership.
Yes.
And commitment to companies. So since you went public in 2022, what have you done to progress it, and what is the current program?
So in 2022, the decision was made to go public, and it was based on, I joined the company in 2018. We brought our current VP of Exploration, Mark Hawksworth, on in 2019. And at that time, we really looked at what we had as far as a project goes, and we looked at Gravel Creek from past experience and realized that we had a very high-grade, low sulfidation epithermal deposit there that had a lot of room to grow. So the drilling that we've done at Gravel Creek since 2022 has been focused on some very high-grade veins, and we're talking on grades that are normally in excess of 20 gram per ton gold equivalent, with silver values up to almost 4 kilos per ton of silver. But those are immediately adjacent to that Gravel Creek resource. And when we started looking at those, we did 2 drill holes in 2023 to check the continuity of those intercepts, and we were able to connect them all together on a dip length of about 200 meters. And this year we've been drilling along strike of those. We've been having very good success with that. And we just put out a news release yesterday, as a matter of fact, with some very high-grade results up to 73 gram per ton gold on the extension of those high-grade veins.
So you really you don't know where it's the size of this deposit continues to
Don't
grow.
know.
You don't
The farthest hole that we've got so far from Gravel Creek with those high grades is over 350 meters away. And that was the last hole drilled. So it remains open, and there's alteration and surface geochemistry for over 1.5 kilometers along that trend. So potentially we have a lot more room to grow there.
Are there any other similar deposits in the area that with similar geological, I guess?
There is. That part of Nevada is known for these high-grade epithermal deposits. Midas, Sleeper are two of the best examples known by people. Every deposit's a little bit different, but what we see is similarities between what we've got and what Midas and Sleeper were. Same age rocks, about 14 to 15 million years old, same geochemistry, same mineralogy. Most of the silver is silver selenides, which is very characteristic of Midas and Sleeper. So we see a lot of similarities between those two deposits and what we're doing. And now that we've found these high-grade areas, that's starting to connect back to what those deposits were famous for, which was very high grades.
And these are huge deposits.
They both produced in excess of 2 million ounces in their lifetime. So yes, very good deposits.
Very economical.
Yes.
Very
a lot of margin when you get high grade. That's what you're looking for, is good margin.
Good margin. I believe also is Jarrett Canyon in the vicinity and other current
Yeah.
This is not currently not.
Well, there's Jarrett Canyon, and just north of Jarrett Canyon, between us and Jarrett Canyon, is Big Springs. And Big Springs was operated in the 90s. But between Jarrett Canyon, Big Springs, and our project, it defines the independence trend, they call it. And on that trend, there's about 15 million ounces of current resource and past production. So very significant. Most of that in Jarrett Canyon and Big Springs, well, all of it, as a matter of fact, was Carlin-type deposits, which is similar to our oxide Doby George deposit. Same age rocks, same type of mineralization, different from Gravel Creek, that is younger and more epithermal. This is more of a Carlin-type deposit at Doby George.
Exciting. So as you start to get these results back, are you starting to prepare already for next year's campaign, or are you continuing on through a current program? And then I guess how is the current year ahead will look like?
Yeah, we're getting the results back, and we'll continue to get results right into, I think, the end of November. It's important to really look at the results you're getting before you start spending significant money again on expanding things before you understand what they are. So with those results, we'll get those out into the market. I'm hoping that it'll demonstrate the continuity of grade for at least 350 meters of strike length and about 250 meters of dip length. We'll get those into a technical report. Hopefully there's enough drilling there to get it into a resource. But we're going to use that information to create a 3D geologic model of the current drilling to dictate where we go next year with that drilling to continue to expand that resource.
Okay, and how about the funding of the company? There was a recent financing, I believe, was a strategic investor.
We did a financing. It was very opportunistic for us and this investor. We'd been talking to them for the last year. They're very intrigued about Doby George and a potential production platform from that asset in the future. So they finance the company to the tune of 1.7 million Canadian dollars, dedicate that to the pre-feasibility study work we're going to be doing at Doby George. So that's allowed us to get that work going in the background as we're getting the drilling done at Gravel Creek as well.
And what's the timeline for the pre-feasibility study?
We're looking to have a PEA on the deposit first, probably end of first quarter next year, and then that will kick off the PFS that we'll hope to get done late 2025, early 2026.
Things are really progressing forward to the point where you can put some actual numbers into this.
Yes.
And, what do you expect in the coming years? This deposit continues to grow. Will it attract larger mining companies that...
I think that's the hope for most junior mining CEOs. Of course, we have Agnico as a shareholder. They own 14% of the company. We've got a lot of work to do to get to an Agnico-sized deposit. But the Gravel Creek resource at 700,000 ounces, we're drilling an extension of that right now. We don't know how big that'll get. But then we've got the Wood Gulch deposit, was mined by Homestake. We think that that is a parallel analog to Gravel Creek that has never been drilled at depth or along strike. So we've got another target coming up in Wood Gulch that we think could be the next Gravel Creek. So we don't know how big this will get yet, but certainly we've got a lot of potential to continue to expand the resource.
How exciting. So big year ahead, more potential for discoveries, expansion, adding value through that way, and then pre-feasibility and moving
Put
towards
it this way, I can't get enough money for the geologists. They keep wanting to do more. So that's a good situation to have.
That is. Well, Darcy, thank you very much for giving us
My
insight.
pleasure.
Look forward to following up with you next year.
Thanks,
to give you
Peter.
some updates.